Hey there, this is Mariah Young. I am coming on for my Keep It Simple Sweetie home guide to home design and decor. And I haven't actually done this before. This is a new one. I do other lives, but today I wanted to hop on and talk about this workbook that I have been creating in my evenings because I'm so excited to share with you guys just some information and things that I've learned with lots of my home decorating. And so hopefully this will be really helpful and enjoyable. You can, of course, say hello in the comments. And I don't know if this is actually tapping into my new Facebook live stuff or not, but I guess we'll see. So, yay. Hey, Don Renee, I do see you. Woohoo. I'm so excited. Anyways, so I am going to actually share with you guys a couple of pages from the Keep It Simple Sweetie workbook, Guide to Home Design and Decor. And the reason I'm putting this together is because I've had a few people that have said, hey, I wish you could design my space for me, or I wish I knew how you put your ideas together. I don't know how to take my Pinterest ideas and put them together. So I created this. It is called Keep It Simple, Sweetie. There are 4 steps, and of course, there are more steps to each step. So I still think it's pretty simple. I believe you could do these steps in a matter of just a few weeks and have a space that you love, depending on the size. Sometimes the smaller spaces don't need that much, and sometimes the larger spaces, like doing a kitchen, need more. So this really is a subjective workbook based on what it is that you are designing. But I was creating a page, and it was really about what you want for and from your home. And I decided that I needed to jump on and share this and then also talk about it a little bit to help explain what it is. And then I will actually be putting this video recording into the workbook so that you can see it. The workbook is not available yet, but if you are like, hey, I want to see this or I want this, do let me know and I will make sure that as soon as it's done, I will reach out to you. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And here I have the Keep It Simple Sweetie workbook, Guide to Home Decor, Home Design and Decor, and to create your home of your dreams in 4 simple steps. So, thank you, Don Renee. I really do appreciate your love. You're so sweet. I really appreciate it. So this is going to be a part of my coaching services because I really feel like creating the home that you love is a huge step in designing your ideal life. When we moved here to Utah, we had several things that we wanted to do, but we mostly moved here for adventure. So even in purchasing our home that we purchased, we made sure that it was meeting the goals that we wanted. And we moved here for adventure. We did not move here to flip a house. If you're doing that, that's awesome, but that's a completely different goal. We wanted a home that was ready to move into, that we didn't have to do a whole lot to. And this house was actually pretty awesome. It was a blank slate. It was completely all white and just easy to work with. So now we're able to make it our own. And that is the stuff that you guys may see me doing on social media. But we're looking at the evaluate step. This is step 1, which is evaluate your space. And you will, if you go onto TikTok or my Facebook Reels, you will see that I've done several videos about how I evaluate a space. I walked you through my spaces that I've already done, and I walked you through spaces that I'm going to do. And on there, we are doing a space together. We are actually working on my fireplace wall that I'm going to have in my living room. And so this is the evaluate. You're going to ask yourself, what do you need from the space or want? What feelings do you want to evoke in the space? And then who is going to use it? I think those are 3 very important questions to make sure that you ask before you start designing, because you don't want to create a space that you're not going to enjoy and that you're just going to have to change in like 6 months because it didn't work. I have definitely been there, done that. I went through a phase where I liked really bright colors, like really bright, the brightest blue, yellow, green, purple, pink that you could find. And we painted our entire space that way, a different color for every room. And let me tell you, I loved the colors, But after 6 months, it was way too much. We both were regretting that decision. But we weren't thinking about what we were using the space for. And those bright colors, woo, where they're fun and I still love them on a large scale painted. Oh, it was way too much. Everything was wrong. When you're recording or you're taking pictures or you're doing anything, it's just too bright. It was just too much. So it is important to think about those things before you start your project. So this is a piece of that, and I call it Dream It Up. What do you want for or from your home? Like you can see here, I have here's a video to watch on this topic. That will be this video that we're doing right now. But it is important to know the things that you are wanting from your home before you plan for it. So what we're looking at here is general and then for each space. So generally, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, we wanted a space that we could make our own, but didn't require too much work. Perhaps for you, you might want things like, you got a family, so you need a place where it can be kind of an oasis for yourself and your kids after work, after school, a place where you can maybe have lots of friends come over. Take a minute to really dream that up. What does it look like after your kids get home from school? Do you want them, at a bar at an island at the kitchen, waiting for snacks, or do they need to be able to do that on their own? So you need a kitchen that is easily put together and organized so that they can do that themselves. Or both. Maybe it's both. Do you want to have game nights there? Do you want to entertain? Do you want dinner parties? Like, what kinds of things do you want to do in your space? Does anyone have dinner parties anymore? I don't even know. I think they do. I see lots of game nights, mystery dinner parties. I know I've seen a lot of those. Anyways, so what do you need from that space? And then that's kind of a general idea. But then you can also look at each individual space. So your main living areas, this is going to be kind of what we were just talking about. Do you want an open concept or a closed concept? I know for a while there, open concept was like all the rage. But I've been hearing a lot of people, especially since COVID, they're like, no open spaces. Like we need it more closed off. There's no way for us to hide or isolate or, do any of those things. So it really depends. We like an open space, but that's because we lived in a closed space for so long in an older home and everything was closed off. And my husband likes to cook and we like to watch football with friends. And so he would be cooking and he'd have to be in a completely separate area from everybody else. So having the kitchen, living room, and dining room actually connected, especially if we have a large group of people, that provides extra seating and the ability for him to still interact with everybody. So you really got to think about those things. Are you watching a lot of movies? Do you need a dinner theater or not dinner theater? Yeah, sure. Dinner theater. Why not? Do you need a theater in your home versus just a living room? We looked at several homes here where we moved that actually had little theaters downstairs. And that, especially for the cost of movies and during, things like COVID, it was probably a really nice thing to have, I can imagine. So what things do you want? But then also look at things like bedrooms. For some reason, we tend to do this more with kids than we do with ourselves. Our own bedrooms tend to take the last straw of a home. And so really look at what you want from your bedroom. I personally an oasis in my bedroom that was also romantic and just a place that we would truly enjoy. But then we also have things like we're going to be putting a Star Wars wall up in our room because we had an amazing empty trip to Star Wars Land in Disney World. And so we bought, we have little droids that are super cute. We have our lightsabers. And then we have, pictures and things like that we want to create a wall for in our room just to remember. But in kids' rooms, we tend to do this more. So I'm not even going to talk too much about kids' rooms, except to say, it's fun to make the room what they want it to be. And if you can make it so that they can grow with the room, that's obviously going to be better since kids go through their phases so quickly. But let's face it. I mean, I usually only like something for 5 to 10 years myself as well. So I don't really think that we have to look at those separately that way. What about yards? Your porches, your yards, that kind of a thing. We knew We wanted to be porch people. Like I really wanted to be those old people that sit on their porch with their dog and watch the neighbors and all that stuff. Okay, we're not really old, but I wanted to be those people sitting out there with our drinks and just enjoying. And so a porch was really important to me. I didn't need it to be huge. I just needed it to be able to fit 2 chairs and a little table. That's it, which we have. And my dog loves being a front porch dog. Let me tell you, she loves to know everything that's going on in the neighborhood and will just sit up there with us and greet the neighbors. It's fantastic. I love it. I know for our backyard, we want to entertain and we want to have space that we just can come home and enjoy. So we're thinking about a pool. My husband wants a place to cook. He barbecues pretty much exclusively in the summer. It's all barbecue. He still barbecues in the winter because we have a covered porch back there. But he would like to have that a little more permanent and, set up the way that he wants it. So that is something to consider in a space. Who is using the space and what makes sense for them? I will be honest with you. I set up this cute space in our living room. I've got this really cute purple velvet couch, and I've got this really cute kind of orange gold velvet couch. And I do love them both. But I have learned that the purple couch, particularly, it is nice and deep, but it's not very wide. And I hate it. I don't love it. I mean, I don't hate it. I just don't love it for our space because my dog, I know we put a lot of consideration into what our dog wants. I totally get it, but she's kind of our kid right now. So it's fair. But she likes to cuddle in between us. And with this smaller couch, she can't do that. And our gold couch isn't really a cuddling couch. It's just we don't use it as much. It's more for like just extra seating when we have people over. So I need a couch that is cozier that we can stretch out on, but also we can have myself, my husband, and our puppy in the middle of us. So we do think, about that. So anyways, I'm going to get off this page. I want you to be thinking generally and each space. Those are the things to think about. And what do you actually want from those? So of course, as before, if you have any questions or you interested in this workbook that's going to be coming out, that was just a small piece of what I'm going to have in there. But I wanted to do this video so that I could put it into the workbook to watch so that you know what I'm talking about on that page. But dream up your space, design what you want, decorate the way that you love, and make it a space that you and whoever else is in your family or living with you is going to truly enjoy. That is the most important thing, I think, about a space. Just my opinion. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And continue to keep a lookout for the Keep It Simple, Sweetie guide to home design and decor. It will be coming to you very soon. All right. Have a good day. Bye.